Now to Indiana. Such great news out of Indiana. Memories Pizza shut down by a mob of probably 10 to 15, maybe at the outside 20 people, who have found a way to make themselves look like they are thousands of people. And not just thousands of people, but angry, outraged, and they happen to represent the majority of Americans, don't you know? That's BS squared. 10 to 15 people toying around with algorithms available on Twitter that they actually created with the assistance of people that know Twitter well. And they're able to create tweets, Facebook posts, emails, and make it look like thousands of Americans are outraged at this harmless, barely even noticeable little pizza shop in a town of 2,000. Now, again, the story, ladies and gentlemen, is not that an info babe from an obscure ABC affiliate in South Bend has to leave South Bend 20 miles away, go knocking on doors, shopping for bigotry, and finally open a door and a young woman who is a devout Christian thinks there's a media person at the door who wants to really know what she thinks. She's like everybody else with their first encounter with the media. Why, there's the media. Look at the camera. There's the microphone. There's some guy holding it all up, and there's the really pretty reporterette. And they must really want to know what I think. They must really be concerned with what I think. This young woman had no idea that what walked into her pizzeria was effectively the media mafia. No idea that the only reason they walked in that door was to find a way to destroy their business. Nope. Instead, oh, here comes this nice media woman, and she's asking me questions, and I know they want to know the truth, and so I'm going to answer their questions honestly. And she told them that she had never been asked to serve a gay wedding or cater one, but that if she were to be asked, she wouldn't do it because she opposes gay marriage. And so the honest, upstanding little reporterette from the obscure ABC affiliate, Channel 57, how obscure can you get? Channel 57. If it weren't for cable, nobody'd be able to pick up that signal. 57 UHF, you'd have to be in an airplane 10,000 feet above it to get the signal straight up. Channel 57? Anyway, she's in the store, and she's got this naive but just blazingly honest young Christian pizzeria owner telling her the truth. And the apparently harmless info babe from the obscure Channel 57 ABC affiliate in South Bend salivates. Aha, I've been knocking on doors for 2 days looking for a stupid idiot, and I finally found one. And she thought she was looking squarely at a devil bigot. In the case of this young woman, Crystal O'Connor. So she got Crystal O'Connor on tape, and then she walks out and gleefully applauds, can't believe her good luck, all of her hard work, knocking on doors, looking for a bigot, and after 20 miles and who knows how many hours, she found one. And she's thinking, this is my ticket out of the obscure Channel 57 in South Bend. If I can destroy this woman, maybe I'll get noticed by the big network honchos in New York. Proceeded to report this little pizza shop, Memories Pizza, a home of open bigots, racists, homophobes, wouldn't serve a gay wedding, even though they'd never been asked. They had never denied. They had never been asked to do so. It had never happened. A totally made-up circumstance becomes the news of the day. But the real story is that in 5 minutes, thousands of people want to burn the place down. Thousands, most of them not even in Indiana, want to burn the place down, want to burn Crystal O'Connor at the stake, want to make sure that pizza shop never, ever reopens. In 5 to 10 minutes, thousands of insane lunatics, which are actually no more than 10 to 15 insane lunatics. That's the real story. So, some people decide to help out and set up a donation fund at the website GoFundMe.com. When this program started yesterday, they had raised $140,000, and their goal was, I think it was, the original goal was $100,000 and became $200,000. The last time I checked was about, about a half hour ago, 35 minutes ago, $546,842 pledged to the Memories Pizza Shop and the O'Connor family. And they have now said they're going to reopen and they're going to remodel and they're going to be bigger and better than ever. And the deadline for donations, I think, goes all the way to the end of business today. You can still help them out if you want to. I think it'd be great. I really do. Gotta take a break. Darn it. As I was saying, I think it would just be fabulous if this GoFundMe donation number hit $750,000. Right now, it's even more than I thought. It's $556,125. Total of about 19,000 people have donated in one day. Let me tell you, 19,000 people versus 10 or 15 that have caused all this trouble. And I am not exaggerating, folks. The 10 or 15 of the original number, now they might have added to that by now because the left has plenty of hangers on that'll join the circus. But the original set of tweets and outrage and anger, I guarantee you, came from 10 to 15 people. And that's the one that counts. We're talking about people viscerally upset by the news that a pizzeria that had never, ever catered a gay wedding would not. I'm telling you, you do not live in a country where the majority of people who hear that news are going to lose their cookies, become outrageously indignant, and try to put that country out of business. We have not become that country yet. They want you to think we have, but we have not. It takes a concerted effort rooted in lies and fraud and deceit, sponsored by 10 people, paid for by George Soros and Media Matters, to gin something like this up and to make you get dispirited and depressed and think that you are vastly overwhelmed and outnumbered. You are not. We're talking about a minority that's not even 5% of the population here. 80% of this country claims to be Christian, which is its own interesting little factoid given what's happening here. But that's for another discussion. It's GoFundMe.com. I didn't even give the web address yesterday, and still you people went from 140 or whatever to $500,000. It's GoFundMe.com/memoriespizza. And they're at 556,000. I just ram it down these people's throats. Get up to 750. What's that? What? Oh, yes, yeah, of course. How do you even ask me that? Am I going to get to Iran and Obama? Of course. In fact, we're going to go back. We're going to spend even more time analyzing what Obama said in the Bergdahl Garden yesterday afternoon, announcing this non-deal. Even the Washington Post has now come out and condemned the deal as no deal. And I know what's really going on with this. They're trying to shut out the Menendez-Corker bill. That's what Obama's trying to do, is preclude the Menendez-Corker bill and ace Congress out of the Senate out of any ratification process. Yes, I'm going to get to that. But the GoFundMe campaign here for the Memories Pizza Shop, this is just, folks, all the evidence that you need that you have not lost your country. We're up to almost 19,000 people who have given people they don't even know over $500,000, almost $600,000, $556,000, because they see what's happening to them. They were not bothering anybody. They were in a town of 2,000 people, little pizza store, not bothering anybody, not threatening anybody, not doing anything but just living and breathing and trying to serve their community. The next thing you know, they are the focus of evil in a bigoted, homophobic country. Not so fast. The people of this country are rising up. And by the way, this is not the first time for this. There was an African-American arts and crafts store owner who had her store totally destroyed in one of the riots In another fake news story, Hands Up, Don't Shoot in Ferguson, Missouri, and GoFundMe, an account was set up, and that woman received donations from people, white people, all over America, far more than she needed to rebuild and reopen her store. This is still your same old righteous, God-fearing, God-loving country. And that is what so angers this small malcontent minority on the left. And they have found a trick way to make themselves appear to be much larger than they really are. And don't doubt me on this. We've investigated it because they've come after us and they continue to come after us, our sponsors, for years now. We've researched. We know the names. We know who the 10 people are in our case. We know where they live. We know the algorithm they're using. We know exactly how they make this happen. So don't doubt me on this. If they can do it in one area, they can do it in any other area. I think all this stuff that happens, all these Twitter explosions, they're all fake. You have got to trust that. You have not lost your country. We have not lost our country. Now, it's true we're in a defensive posture. We sit around, we mind our own business, and when we're attacked and assaulted, we do, on occasion, stand up and defend ourselves. We are very absent political leadership in Washington. That's also true. And I'm not saying that this is not a problem. It is. But I'm telling you that if you're running around thinking, oh, my gosh, we've lost the country, we haven't. Don't think that. Breitbart has a story today. Newsbusters has carried it as well, that the pizza store was asking for it. Memory's Pizza, according to, is an explicitly Christian business, which is probably what drew the reporters in the first place. The store is festooned with religious sayings like this one, quote, every day before we open the store, we gather and pray together. If there's something you would like us to pray for, just write it down and drop it in the box and we'll pray for you. Well, those hateful bastards, how dare they? You realize that's a direct assault? That's a direct assault from a majority bunch of Christians on people who aren't? That's hateful. In the cockeyed, perverted world of the left. Not only is that hateful, it's threatening. Offering to pray for the godless. Who do they think they are? So this obscure reporterette from the obscure Channel 57 in South Bend, Indiana, probably didn't even have to hear anything said by Crystal O'Connor, just had to go in and see that sign and realize, aha, I've got a Christian bigot here. Why, this hateful Christian bigot wants to pray for me? What a bunch of idiots. And then thought that, wow, I'm in this pizzeria and they want to pray for me. I am surrounded by hate, is the perverted way they look at it. Daily Caller. Salon Pizzeria closed after death threats, getting exactly what it deserves. Salon.com says this pizzeria getting death threats, and now there are threats to burn it down. There are tweets from people asking to be joined in a mission to go to Indiana, find this place, and burn it to the ground. And Salon is applauding this thing. It's getting exactly what they deserved. The tweet, by the way, is now deleted. Salon's Twitter account gloated over the closure of anti-LGBT pizza shop. That anti-LGBT pizza shop in Indiana getting exactly what it deserved. And I think, frankly, I agree with them now. Over $500,000 in donations, Memory's Pizza is getting exactly what they deserve. An uprising, an outpouring of support and love from a majority of the American people who are outraged at these never-ending, incessant attacks on decent, good people who threaten nobody. Some leftist dingbats have even threatened to steal the GoFundMe money. There are people on Twitter who are hatching plans to figure out how to rob them of this money. I'm not kidding it. Newsbusters has a roundup, a tweeted wish to organize a group to burn the store down. A separate threat to the GoFundMe organizer, who has orchestrated a campaign, raised over $500,000 now. And to top it off, another threat by somebody who now laughably claims he was hacked to steal from O'Connor's the money that has been raised. People who have publicly encouraged donations to this GoFundMe account are also now being personally threatened. And we are to believe that this is justified. The drive-by media tells us that this family, the O'Connor family, getting exactly what they deserve, threats to burn down the pizza store, threats to rob them of the GoFundMe money. They deserve it. This is exactly what they deserve. There's a political party, folks, that inspires, that encourages this hate. There's a political party that rewards it. There's a political party that encourages it and claims that it will be rewarded, and that's the Democrat Party. These are not Republicans doing this. These are not conservatives doing this. The people doing this are not the backbone of America. The people engaged in this sick, perverted behavior are not in any way, shape, manner, or form the people upon whose backs this country was built. Admittedly so. They're trying to tear it down. They're outraged. And I just think it's fantastic. I love all of you who have donated. This is such a great statement. 556, I'm sure it's higher than that now. It was 556 about a half hour ago. Let me take a brief time out. We'll come back. Open line Friday. Try to get your calls in the first hour. Not pledging, but I'm going to try. And we'll move on to the Iranian situation and Obama's the announcement that he had in the Bergdahl Garden. More and more people are finding reasons to have great problems with that. We'll be back. By the way, I meant to mention this, folks. We've got the direct link to the GoFundMe donation webpage at rushlimbaugh.com. If you don't want to go to the trouble of entering the URL in your browser or searching for it, my bad. We've had it up there for a while. It's at the top of the homepage at rushlimbaugh.com. You cannot miss it, and it'll take you right there. A couple of sound bites from Crystal O'Connor. This is Last Night with Cavuto on the Fox Business Network. Cavuto said, "You plan to open anytime soon? You think it's not worth it? Too much grief, too many threats, too much nastiness? What are you going to do?"
No, we have decided that we will reopen again.
When?
When? We're not sure. I mean, I'm still shaken over this, and I'll be the one that's serving the customers and answering phones, and I'm not ready to face that yet, but it will be soon.
Wow, she really sounds like a hateful person, doesn't she? Oh, man. I don't know if I'd walk in that store. This woman sounds like, geez, she'd just send me off to the ovens or something. Man, oh, man, you believe how hateful this woman sounds? How mean-spirited? You could just hear the bigotry dripping from her voice there, couldn't you? I'm being facetious. Snerdley thinks you better be careful here. People are going to believe you. No. I'm being facetious here. This is one of the most harmless human beings on this planet. That's the point. In terms of representing a threat to anybody, Crystal O'Connor, Memories Pizzeria offering to pray for anybody in trouble? Hateful bastards. How dare they? Cavuto then said, well, were you surprised that you got a lot of outrage? But you also got a lot of support. You're getting donations from sympathetic people who thought you were getting maligned. What do you think of all of that?
We are very thankful, and we're not doing it. It was never about the money. It was for our belief, and it's a blessing. And God has blessed us for standing up for what we believe and not denying Him.
Of course, it was never about the money. They had no idea this was going to happen. This innocent-looking info babe walks in, and I'm sure Crystal O'Connor thought, it's a chance to tell the truth. The media, they want to know the truth. The media is here to find out what I really think. That's the biggest learning experience. The media is not. That story was already written and finalized before that reporterette walked in the door. All she needed to do was to get that young woman to admit she believed in God, and that was it. go back to the studio and broadcast that they found a bigot in Walkerton, Indiana. And this is why this law is outrageous, because it's going to allow this bigot to deny pizzas to gay people at their weddings. I mean, you look at this for what it really is. It's just simply outrageous. Okay, to the phones. We're going to start in Spring, Texas with Jimmy. Great to have you, sir. You're up first. It's a big responsibility being the first call on Open Line Friday. You kind of set the tone for everything that follows.
Yes, sir, Rush, it is. And given that this weekend is opening day in baseball, I take my responsibility even more seriously.
There you go. I appreciate somebody who gets it.
Rush, listen, the logic of the left is that people who believe in gay marriage are now the majority, which would then, in place, make us the minority. And so, look, Rush, I didn't decide to become conservative. I was born this way. And, what I do behind closed doors in the voting booth...
Wait a second. Are you telling me you didn't choose conservatism?
I did not choose conservatism, Rush. I was born this way. And so, now that I'm the minority, where are my protections?
So you mean you love conservatism and it's nobody's business who you love?
That's exactly right. I love conservatism, Rush.
Wow.
And so...
So now you're finding yourself in the minority, but you've got no rights.
Exactly, and I need someone to stand up and speak for me.
Yeah, I see that. I see your conundrum. I see your dilemma. Your problem. You started the day as a member of the evil majority. Then you learned, because you were born conservative, that you're in the minority, and now nobody's protecting your rights as a minority, and you don't know what to do. You need somebody standing. You need a spokesman. What a horrible position to be in. If I were you, I would protest the founding of the country and pledge to overthrow it, because it's unfair to people who've been born conservative. And I'd start attacking the religions of the left. Global warming, militant environmentalism as a whole. That's what I would do. You got to get back at them. They're discriminating against you. They're trying to make you think they've become the majority. I get his point. The truth of the matter is, he's not in the minority. Anyway, that's old-fashioned way of making the point here, illustrating absurdity by being absurd. Thank you, Jimmy. Mary in Lock Crescent, Minnesota. Next up, you are. Great to have you in the EIB network. Hello.
Hello. Great to hear from you. I just really appreciate what you're doing with the Memories Pizza. And we're here making pecan pies, and my husband will come home and have a lovely meal this evening. And our anniversary is in August. And my daughter and I thought it would be the best place to go for anniversaries and honeymoons is to go to the Memories Pizza Shop and celebrate with people who appreciate our union.
Now that's an interesting take. A destination for your anniversary or your honeymoon. Memories Pizza, Walkerton, Indiana.
That's correct. It's wonderful, the outpouring, people helping them. It's just like voting is to send money to them, but to keep that going and actually have people coming and visiting there.
Well, it's a great affirmation, and we're up now. Over 20,000 people have donated. God bless them. 20,000 people, and that number is ratcheting up even as we speak. So, okay, 622 up to 622,000 now. We opened the program at 556. So people are all kinds of people are rallying here. And it's a great illustration of, well, I hate to be redundant, but I guess to make the point, I run into a lot of people who think culturally we've lost the country and that there's no hope of getting it back. That, I find a lot of people who think that we are so deep in it now that the only way it's ever going to get fixed is for the descent into utter and pure depravity to continue to the point that it envelops everybody, and at some point there's an uprising and a refusal to live that way, and the reversal begins and a return to quote-unquote righteousness. I don't mean it in a religious sense. I just mean it in a return to morality. Because people are of the opinion that there is no opinion maker, there's no politician, there's no issue that can come along that can arrest this plunge into depravity, that it's going to have to pretty much envelop everything to the point that people refuse to live this way anymore, and be its own reform or its own corrective measure. And the only thing I say to those people is, I understand the media will make anybody think that. The pop culture media, the news media, every day, if you expose yourself to it, there's no way you're going to think anything other than you're losing. Everything you believe in is losing. Everything you believe in is being swamped and thumped and whatever else. And there's no hope of fixing it. So you're going to retreat and just try to live your life as best and well you can within your own little confines and universe, and hoping and praying that something comes along that you have no power to do yourself or control over, and it reverses it. And I'm here to tell you, you've not lost it yet. This is all part of another break here.